Okay. Go ahead, Abu. Tell.
Okay, it all started. I don't know. I think with your mother, actually.
He doesn't know how it started.
I know how it
because
started.
Only has to tell a certain part.
I came to tell you about the dean.
Y'all shush.
Because I was interested, and I was interested because my dad had told me so much about Muslims. So I was interested, and I was telling your father. In the meantime, I was reading up on everything, as much as I could find out. I was reading up everything about Islam. And the only Islam that I could find at the time was the Hooligans. I hope I don't step on anybody's toes, but that was the only Islam I could find at the time. And I could not get with their, what is it? Yeah, no, it was before that. I couldn't get with their, the devils and the horns under the hats and the tails, and it just did not make any sense to me. It really didn't make sense to me. But I kept reading, and I came across Maryam Jamila, who is a convert to Islam, Jewish convert, whose mentor was somebody in Pakistan, and she ended up marrying and going over there. And I wanted so much to learn more about Islam. I went home and I told your father about it. All he did was what he would do, because he was a man of very few words. He said, he turned his head to the side, and he just kind of shook it like he does. He says, I hope you aren't thinking of doing anything serious. And I knew right then and there. My husband didn't say much, and I do all the talking, but I knew when to step back. And I stepped back, and I left it alone. And I would go every place, any place I saw Muslims, I would go and I'd park the car and I'd just sit and I would just look at them, because I was just so enamored of everything about Muslims. And then one day,
Yeah, well, I was just probably the opposite. I felt more or less threatened by it in the sense that organization, I'm completely against conforming to anything. Anyway, I'm non-conformist anyway. But what really happened with me is that I went to bed one night. I went to bed one night and had this dream. Probably the most powerful dream I've ever had in my life. I dreamt that somebody in my family, and it was strange because it was my father. He was still alive then. He came to me in a serious fashion I couldn't understand and said, "You are doing the right thing." Something like this. This dream kept on going. And then in the middle of the dream, it told me all about Islam, that I would become a Muslim. And the thing that impressed me more about the dream was the fact that it reminded me of, anybody ever read Macbeth?
Mm-hmm.
The three things that come to you at the end. You remember the three things that came to him at the end? There were three different things, and one with the forest coming in, right?
Right.
So I'm attributing this to what I read and all that stuff. But anyway, it said at the end of the dream, there were a lot of things. The voices came to me, and also the fact that something that I knew I would never do is move south, come south, because I knew I would be killed, because I could not deal with racism. You're right. I could. Somebody come and say "boy" to me, I said I just can't deal with this. But in the dream, it talked about me coming down here and becoming a part of some kind of community. And anyway, what happened? Just to make a long story short.
no, he's cutting a lot off.
What am I cutting off?
He had a series of dreams.
No, I didn't get to the second dream yet.
But you didn't think it was your father at first.
I didn't think about it. I gotta get to that too.
Okay.
Okay. So here I am. I don't know if you ever dreamt and you felt something that was extremely profound. You know what I mean? More than this life here. It was stronger than that. And it said at the end, like Macbeth, three things would happen to you to prove that this dream is true, a voice came to me. The first thing happened that very next day. I think I woke up in the morning and something happened. I said, "Oh, coincidence." Skeptic, you know. So I go to work, and the second thing happens to me. But then again, it was a logical explanation. So I said, okay. I was very impressed by it, and I think I came home and told you about it, and told a few people. I said, wow, these two things happen. But I said to myself, this could logically happen. I said, I know the third thing couldn't, like Macbeth, the third thing couldn't happen.
So,
The
in your,
forest
so in your dream, it told you 3 things that would happen to you?
would happen.
And I didn't understand.
The first thing, I mean, the first 2 things were things that happened the very next day. I forgot. But I mean, no, that was the last one.
Okay.
It was just, you know, but I said, I mean, it was the fact that it did happen right after the dream. I said,
So the
it
dream
kept
told
me-
you it happened, and it did happen.
And it did happen, but I said, oh, it's just, you know, no big thing. It's probably happening to me and I'm not aware of it. So the third thing was that a person dressed like Lawrence Arabia had on this bright gold and yellow kameez with a rap like Muhammad Ahmed. So I don't know anybody like that. You know, and he was, you know, a man of color, dark skin complexion. I said, no, this isn't gonna happen to me. I don't know anybody like that. Now in the meantime, I'm in a program, and I was, it's called public service. Well, it was a program, a college-bound program, whatever, that I was dealing with some students and whatnot. And I had one student in there who used to wear this dashiki. You know, we were in the times of, you know, revolutionary time. Everybody wore dashiki. You know, so, anyway, I hadn't seen him for about 3 or 4 months anyway, because he was college bound. He was already in college. So one day I'm sitting at my desk, completing some forms anyway, and he comes into the room, and I look at him, and I said, oh my God, this is the man in my dream. He had this long kameez on, shalwar kameez, that I've never seen before. This thing, this fancy cover, like you ever see the Mahdi Muhammad Ahmed?
No.
You know how the movie,
Okay.
how he wore that
Turban?
Lawrence of Arabia, whatever.
Your mama.
No, Lawrence of Arabia.
Lawrence of Arabia.
The big, yeah.
Cartoon, the name of the movie. Well, anyway, he comes to me, I look at him, I said, oh my God, this is the man in my dream. Of course I knew him, but I said, this is the man in my dream. So I got real scared then, because I said, this cannot happen. So I turn around and I start writing. I'm breaking out, I'm sweating, and it's the first time I can ever recall I was sweating cold sweat, not hot sweat, cold sweat was dropping down my face. And sure enough, he comes behind me like this. Out of nowhere, I said, no, he's not going to do this. And he goes over to me while I'm sitting. He takes his right hand, he steps behind me, goes like this.
The dream told him that a man looking as he
Looking
described
just like him,
would
like-
come behind him and put his hand on his shoulder.
So I said to myself, I said, oh my God. I was so stunned by it that I dismissed it. I didn't even discuss it with him.
Did somebody lose a cow?
Yeah.
Shush.
Oh, sorry.
So I go home and I tell you about all about the dream, and I think so I dismissed it. In the meantime, this brother disappears again. You know, he doesn't. I'm in charge of this program, but I was mainly concerned before he got in college. When he got into college, he was more or less on his own, and we had to do a few things with him. So it was about 2 or 3. No, almost a year later.
Yes,
it was almost a year
it
later.
was.
Yeah, it was almost a year later. It might have been, and I never checked it out. It might have been almost a year to that day. He comes in and I say, hey, oh, and just before he comes in, I had my second dream. And in my second dream was not as profound as far as living in the South, which I never would do, never thought about doing. But he came to me, and he was just dressed normally, regular clothes. I said, John, you Muslim. I said, let me ask you this. Don't they pray 5 times a day? He said, yeah. I said, how come I've never seen you pray? So he said, oh no, I've been praying while you've been here. You know, I said, yeah. So I said, how you been doing this? He said, when I come, because he'd come in my room and you know, in the area for a long time. He said, well, you just never noticed me. I'd walk by the window like this and see a Muslim could pray, standing, sitting, or any other. But since I was out in the open, I would go by the window and go like that, and nobody would know what I was doing. I said, oh, wow.
Wherever you could find it.
So I said, oh, he had also invited me to the mosque, and I wouldn't go. I said, yeah, I'll go one day. You know how you said, yeah, I'll be there. But, you know, I'm trying to dismiss this whole thing. In fact, we did go.
Yes.
We
You,
did.
me, and Billy.
Yeah, but let me see. No. Yeah, okay. No, we went there once before. Yeah, you, me, and Billy's girlfriend.
I don't remember her. Which one?
Barney.
Not Barney, the
No.
one before Barney. Betty.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Betty.
wonder.
So, you know.
Always
And-
one of them hating sisters.
And they answered, they asked us questions, and you know, I was skeptical. I tried to break him down on anything, and he had the men on the one side, and the women on the other side. And I started got offended. My wife is sitting all the way over there, and I'm sitting over here. I said, what the heck is wrong with this?
It wasn't that far.
No, but I still made questions. I questioned them about it, and they told me why, you know, and okay, it was logical, you know, because men scoping on women or something like that. So I accepted it. So anyway, when I had the second dream, a voice came to me, and the voice said, you are doing many things, good things, but you're not doing righteous deeds. And again, it was one of those powerful dreams. So the next day I go to work, and all of a sudden the same guy, John Baker, appears. And I tell him, I wrote this down, these words. I said, John, I showed it to you. I woke her up and told her what I drank, and I gave it to him. And he said, brother, you better go down to the mosque tonight and take your shahada. He was indifferent before.
This is
And I'll
in your
tell you-
dream?
Hmm?
This is in your dream?
No, this is a reality.
Oh.
But the brother who was in the dream, John Baker,
Okay.
the same brother, appeared the day after I had the second dream.
Ah,
You know, he was the one who.
yes, yes.
Okay, so I'm still not connecting all of this, believe it or not. So I said, okay, I'll go there. So I said, I didn't go there that night. I came home and told you what I was going to do. So I go there and I take my shot. And
No, he did not tell me. I had been trying for over a year.
I told you I was going down to
Wait a
take
minute,
shahada.
no. Talking about Islam. I was always talking about Islam, and he would always get offended and clam up, and I knew, okay, let me leave it alone. So I'm home one night, minding my own little business, and here he comes in from work, and we lived a long ways from the city, long enough.
Yeah.
And he says, you better take your shahada. I said, my shahuda? I had no idea what he was talking about. I mean, I didn't know. He said, it's time for you to take your shahada. I didn't know. I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, I became Muslim. I looked at him. Well, I can't tell you what I want to do. I looked at this man. All this time I had been talking to him about this. And he said, yeah, and I was happy. You know, alhamdulillah, I was happy because this is what I wanted. And then he did take me down to the masjid so I could become Muslim. But I had been talking to him for a couple of years about it. And he was not going for it. And this mild-looking, meek-looking man, you have gotten just a little tasting. He is not that at all. He is extremely stubborn. Once he makes up his mind is made up. And then once, I'll tell you how made up his mind was. Once he became Muslim, I will never forget. We were living in South. No, hold it quiet. We were in South Carolina. And he would stop and make salat anywhere. It did not matter. I was pregnant at the time with Bushra, and we parked. He said he had to make salat. So there was a parking garage next to a store. It was open, but it was still like a garage. And we drove in there. I said, well, I steered him there because I didn't want him out in the street. We're down in a small southern town. I said, let's go into here and make salat. So we went under this parking garage, and he opens up the car door, and he goes outside. I said, can't you make it in the car? No, he could not make it in the car. And he's trying to figure out which way is east. And when he thought he figured it out, he is down on the garage floor. He is prostrate. He is making salat, and people are coming out. This is belts. People were coming out the store, and they were looking at him and saying, the next thing we knew, all these cop cars came. And they all drove, they came screeching their tires and everything, and they surrounded us. And they came up to question us, what the heck were we doing? They didn't know, they had no idea what we were doing. And I had to speak up fast because your father wanted to fight. You know, he's making salat. He was in fight mode. So I started talking and I started explaining, and I told him that we were Muslim, that was our faith, and we pray anywhere. And I said, you know, I couldn't get out with him because I'm pregnant, and I sat back and I was trying to make myself bigger than what I really was. But they calmed down. But that's in Rock Hill. That's how committed he is, and that's how rebel. Once he gets something in his mind, once he's committed to something, he's committed.
And I probably would have still been making it that way, but I was told not to make it like that. That's why I make it sitting down. Well, now it's a different thing, but I make it sitting down outside.
Okay, we got
The
it.
same brother John Page played a real instrumental part. Let's see. Huh?
Your wedding.
Who?
John, he's
No.
wild.
He was wild. Come to find out, I didn't know anything. I really didn't know anything about him, what he was into. All I knew is that I found out he's been Muslim for 5 years. So I said, imagine being a Muslim for 5 years. That seemed like a big time to me, you know. So I go back to the job and I tell my boss. I told you that story now, right? Okay. Her name was Miss Drew, but she would always joke about me, you know, about us getting together. And I said, oh, you know, and I just, you know, I said, oh, my, I'm freezing up, not knowing what to do. I'm kind of young and not knowing how these people are. No, I wasn't used to that city.
Not know what to do.
The city, you know, here I am with these women of all this education and all this. I didn't know and all this political stuff. I wasn't into that. I was, you know. So anyway, she came up to me and said, "You're Muslim?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh wow, you're Muslim. Now we could get married." I said, "What?" I'm new to this whole thing. I took Shahada on my dreams. It had nothing to do with studying like anybody else studied. So I didn't know what to do. I said, well, maybe I'm supposed to do this when somebody tells me that. I said, man, I'm gonna get out of this. I didn't know what to do. So here, John Baker pops up again, out of nowhere. His Muslim name is Hashim. And anyway, I said, Hashim, I have a little bind. I want to ask you one question. And I said, I was getting ready to say, Mrs. Drew wants to marry me. So I said, Mrs. Drew wants to marry, and before I can get out the meat, he jumps up. She wants to get married? Wow!
Arm to arm. Did someone take my juice?
He leaves my room and goes way up where she is in her office. The next thing I know, the door closed. I said, "Oh my God."
Somebody's gonna put this on the internet, you know.
Oh no. So I say, okay. Well, anyway, I go home. I go home and I see her the next day. I come into work, and for the week or 2 or 3 weeks, she had never even approached me about any questions. I'm wondering what the heck did he say to her, but of course he tried to marry her himself. That was what the deal was. So I knew, no, not Verdell. Miss Drew, my boss. But Verdell worked with me, but she was not my boss. She worked in another area. So that just, everything squashed. Everything was over for me. But the thing about that, to go further, just a little further, about a week or 2 later, he did something wrong. And he had to go, I found out the story of his story. He was a woman's man for sure, even though he was Muslim. He was a woman's man. He loved his woman. He got busted twice and the third time actually, he was in a movie with a woman and sitting up front, and somebody gave him a note from the back, and he looked back and saw all these Muslims back there. And all of a sudden he disappeared. But anyway, there was nothing behind that. He did one thing wrong. He what he did was he forgot his security duty. And back there we were kind of crude Muslims. So what happens is anybody who didn't do their security had to go through this mill. Yeah, I didn't like it. I wasn't into that, you know. Then you see you couldn't hit in the face, but anything from here on down.
But what does this have to, you guys keep on.